yes, I'm wearing the exact same thing I was wearing in the last video. I am just going to kind of go off on a tangent that So the last video was supposed to be the second one in our Christmas series, and it kind of took a little bit of a turn. So I just kind of going to continue on from that and go on a tangent because that's what I'm feeling, and we're going to follow the feeling. So let's dive right on in. I don't have a psalm for the day today. I don't have a tea of the day, but I'm continuing to drink. Our tea, I guess, is continuing from last time, but it's our lemon ginger one, so still haven't finished the cup, and now it's a little cold. Like, it's okay. It's fine. But, yeah. I just kind of want to go off on a tangent here because, excuse me, frankly, in my own personal life, I had a conversation about this recently, and also just in the verses, just, you know, I'm sorry, I'm going to preface this video. I don't know how long this is going to be, but this is going to be a little bit all over the place. It's going to be a little bit tangential. It's going to be all over the place. But I guess this all kind of sparked from reading, I don't know what verse it is, but in chapter 2 of Matthew, it talks about how Herod arranged a meeting with the wise men, and then it was a secret meeting, and then, you know, how when things that we do in darkness, they're eventually going to come to light. And it's kind of, I guess that's what sparked it for me. But, okay. So, I guess I'm just tired of how fake our world is getting to be. This is kind of about relationships, but I think it's important for us to remember that everybody in our lives is going through something. You could be 13, 20, 35, 60, 80, whatever. But everyone in our lives is going through something. And it's in recognizing that a lot of the problems that we have with relating to people isn't necessarily that person is a bad person, but they might just be going through something. It might just be, you know, that their life experience is different than yours, and that they don't know how to handle something because they've never experienced it before. They've never experienced a healthy relationship. They've never experienced a healthy work life. They've never experienced something that to you might seem commonplace, and so you can't understand why they can't handle it. But it's in recognizing that, you know, everybody is going through something, whether they seem like it or not, whether they seem like they're happy, whether it seems like they're going through something. Like, we really need to extend grace to each other. But I guess it's kind of just recognizing, you know, that, like, we're all different people, but we all ultimately want the same things. We all want, you know, to feel loved and cared for. We all want to be respected. We all want to, you know, be able to have a way to make ends meet. We all want to be able to live the lives we dream about. And I guess I'm just tired of people faking it. I'm tired of all of us feeling like we have to live a certain way because that's the way society tells us we need to live. I'm tired of, you know, all of us feeling inadequate because we can't live these lives that aren't realistic, these lives that are based on 6-figure salaries that are really unrealistic and, like, most likely not gonna happen, you know what I mean? And, like, I'm just so tired of us feeling inadequate and, like, we need to have certain things or people in our lives, or, you know, we need to be doing all these different things and whatever, and, like, not truly doing what we know we need to do. Whether that be, you know, going out to coffee with a friend and just actually having real human interaction and not just sending each other funny pictures on social media, or, you know, like, truly taking time out of your life to live your life. I feel like, I guess what I'm trying to get across is that I'm so, like, our society is so much about living the best life that none of us actually live our own lives. I mean, instead of focusing, you know, on what you truly want to do with your life, so many people are doing what they think other people, or like are doing what other people tell them that they need to do with their life. Whether, it's a lot of my guy friends are going into the trades because, like that's what they know, it's what they're interested in, and like, like that's what they've always been raised to do. But sometimes they don't want to go into the trades. Sometimes they want to do something that's completely different from what their parents have done. And they want to completely branch off, but they're scared to do it because they don't want to disappoint their parents. Or the exact opposite's the case. Their parents are, doctors or whatever, like traditional. You go to college, you get a 4-year degree, you get a master's, you get a whatever, and you go on and make a bunch of money, but they don't want to do that, and they want to do something impractical. Like, they want to be, I don't know, something in the music industry, or go into trades, or do something that's less, less respected, I guess, in society, unless you make it big. And it just drives me crazy because I wish that we all realized and recognized and knew that we are all created so differently and so uniquely, and we all have certain gifts for certain reasons. And in recognizing that you don't have to live up to someone else's expectations of you, the only expectations that you need to live up to are God's, because He actually has realistic expectations of what you can do and what you can handle, but not of what you can do and handle on your own, but of what you can do and handle with Him, and He's right there along the way, But like, I don't know, it's just exhausting, I feel like, in society, how so many people are trying to chase after these things that they don't really want, but that they feel like they need to go after because that's what society tells them they need to go after. That's what their family tells them that they need to go after, about their friends. And it drives me crazy because, being completely honest, I could never do military. Like, nope. Like, I have mad respect for people that are in the military, but, I could never do it. Like, I know myself, that just wouldn't happen. But I know so many people that think, oh, this is, the only option, so I'm just gonna do that. And, while that's all fine and good and dandy if that's what they are interested in, if it's not, don't sign yourself up for something that, you don't actually want to do. Or if you don't want to go to college, don't go to college and do what you actually are feeling led to do. Or, I don't know, I just get so tired of all of us stuffing down these nudges from the Spirit that we're supposed to be doing something because we're scared to do it. Or, and also speaking to myself here, so, not preaching from, a high and mighty place, I'm in the same boat, yeah. But, it's just, I don't know, if we all realized that, we have gifts in certain areas for a reason, and we are interested in certain things for a reason, and we're good at things for a reason, and it's not just a random fluke that, oh, I guess I'm good at this because, yeah, I guess I'm just good at it. No, we were all created so, down to the last little detail, and it's just, it's insane to me. I don't know, I just wish that we recognized our worth, because I feel like society in, trying to make sure everybody's accepted, especially, and I'm gonna get hate for this, but I hate how Western culture is tearing down men, because realistically, from a biblical perspective, men are the head of the household. That's how it's supposed to be. And now I don't care if you're a woman and you want to have a career, that's fine, you do whatever. But that being said, society is raising women with these unrealistic expectations of what men are supposed to be like. I mean, look at any rom-com ever, okay? Really unrealistic expectations of what a man is supposed to be like, but then society then goes around and turns on the guys and says, you're not allowed to be masculine because that's bad. You're not allowed to do this because that's not something that you should do because that's not okay. We can't just let boys be boys anymore. We have to give them a disorder because, oh, being rowdy, you have something wrong with you. No. We are demonizing the masculine traits that men are supposed to have because masculine and femininity, we both are a little bit of both. Or sorry, we all are a little bit of both, but realistically they balance each other out. And that's why God created man and woman. He saw that man on his own needed something, needed a companion to help balance it out. And in creating that companion, he created both masculine and feminine. And we need both to truly be successful. And it's when we tell men that they, or when we tell women that men need to live up to this certain standard, and then tell men, you're not allowed to be masculine, you're not allowed to, want any of these things that are traditionally masculine, that really tears down any shot of the man being anything like these, realistic expectations that we're given of what men are supposed to be like. And it drives me insane. Because if you really look at it from the perspective that you're creating a double standard. And then if a guy does do these like unrealistic things and like somehow like, you know, for whatever reason he does decide to do them, he gets burned because then the girl is like, you know, appreciates the attention for like a minute and then is like, okay, who else is going to give me attention? And that's not what it should be about. Doing that, making these unrealistic expectations of what life looks like for women is hurting them, because then guys don't want to go out on a limb and do these like wonderful sweet things because they're just going to get burned in the end for it. And sorry, a lot of tangents. Like I said, like in recognizing that by in recognizing all these things, we're hurting ourselves. Another thing to think about is, you know, in business, because of this, and now, okay, I want to preface this and say that, you know, there definitely are sexual misconduct cases that occur that are true, and, you know, like, aren't lies. But that being said, a lot of businessmen are probably not going to want to mentor young business women over a businessman, because the woman can cry wolf with things that aren't meant to be cried wolf about. Like, so I'm gonna, like, businessman Bob, great name, I know. So we have businessman Bob, and then I always use these names, Sally and Larry, let's say. So we got these two guys, or two guys and a girl. So businessman Bob, if he's mentoring, I think this is Larry. If he's mentoring Larry, and after work he asks, like, hey Larry, like, do you want to go out for a drink, or like to go grab dinner or whatever, like, not insinuating anything, just, you know, like, as something to do after work, like trying to be a nice, like a friend there, like a mentor, you know. If he does it with Larry, Larry's not going to assume, oh, he's trying to sleep with me, because that's not what is being said. He's just asking, do you want to, like, get something to eat after, essentially. But if you have Sally, this is an entirely different scenario, because if Bob asks Sally, who he's mentoring, hey, do you want to go grab, like, a drink or, like, get some food or whatever after work today? If she then thinks, oh, he's trying to sleep with me, or, oh, he's flirting with me, or whatever, and he's not, she can cry wolf, and then he gets in trouble for it. So things like that are what creates these problems in society, because if we didn't have such a cry wolf culture, we wouldn't have all these problems that really aren't problems. And, like, I just, oh. Sorry, that was a tangent. This is gonna be fun to upload. Like, I guess what I'm trying to get at is that I don't understand why our culture demonizes men for being men, and then gets mad when a woman doesn't want to be a man. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't understand how we have let our culture get to a point where instead of having men that are men and women that are women, we're wanting the opposite. We want the woman to be the masculine figure and the man to be the feminine, because that is not how we were created. Again, I recognize that we are all a little bit masculine, a little bit feminine, but most of the time, men are going to be more masculine and women are going to be more feminine, because, one, like, biology, but two, that's how we were created. And I don't, like, nobody can change my mind on that. You can look at women in the Bible. You can look at men in the Bible. Now, there are some fierce women in the Bible, okay? But they are still feminine women. They are not they aren't being a man or saying, I need to be like a man. They are being fiercely feminine. And that is something that if we realized that as women, if we realized that and took it, we would not be having as many problems as we do, I think. Because when you try and take something and make it something it's not, obviously there are going to be bumps and problems and roadblocks. Like, I don't understand it, because I don't get it. I don't know how to fix it, but like I don't get it either. I don't understand why so many people demonize masculinity when masculinity isn't the problem. The beauty of masculinity and femininity is this: they balance each other. They are created to fit together like puzzle pieces. So when one gets thrown out of balance, the other one is also going to take a tumble. And I guess I'm just tired of men feeling like they have to downplay their masculinity so that a woman can upplay her masculinity. Because that's not the design we were created with. And, like, that's not what was intended when we were created, I guess. I don't think, at least. Maybe it was, but, I mean, why would he make us something and then, you know, call it good? Because, like, when you truly think about it, in the story of creation, when there was both masculine and feminine, God called it good. He called it very good. I don't think he would call a woman who has to be masculine and a man who has to be feminine very good. I don't think that a lot of what our society is doing is stuff that God would call very good. And then we have all these societal problems, and people question why a loving God would let things like that happen. But then they get mad about God being places. And there was a Facebook post going around the other day, and it was kind of saying, like, if we're telling God to get out of our schools, if we're telling God to, like, with taking, in God we trust out of the Pledge of Allegiance, taking prayer out of schools, taking whatever, and then we're also, you know, demonizing Christians, demonizing God lovers in society, why would God then still put his hand of protection over the people that are hating against him, you know? I mean, like, look at Sodom and Gomorrah. He, like, or Nineveh, or, well, I guess Nineveh didn't get destroyed, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, look at all these times in the Old Testament where God tried to minister, like where Noah was, where he tried to minister to these people, and then they were like, no, we don't want you to leave, and so he did just that, he left. And then everything went berserk, you know, but, like, people don't want to recognize that that's the problem. People want to blame it on someone else because it can never be their own fault. And that's, I guess, another thing for me that's really difficult, is when people can't take responsibility for their actions. Because, like, I mean, nobody really likes to take responsibility for their actions when they screw up, but, like, at the same time, if you don't do it, you can't be an adult, because you need to be able to be responsible for yourself. But, like, I don't know. I'm just tired of demonizing masculinity, of demonizing traditional roles that were created that way. I don't see the point in it. I don't see how that helps anyone, because forcing people to flip roles when it would work just fine if they stayed in their roles. Why would you, like, why would you do that? Like, now, I'm going to use an example here. So, like, why would you take, I don't know. I guess the other thing is that, like, creating these expectations for people really kind of ruins relationships we have with other people, because if you take I have an idea. I don't know construction, so maybe this is how this works, but I don't know. But if you take, or like, I don't know, you know, no, it does. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna use this as an example. If you take the house that you're building, and you take the supportive beams, like the ones that, you know, support the house up. I use visuals, sorry. So you take these supportive beams and you make that the foundation of the house instead of building a concrete foundation or, you know, whatever other stone pieces are used in construction. Like, the house isn't going to be able to be as strong. Sure, it might work for a little while, but ultimately the house won't last as long as it would if you built it the correct way. And, you know, every relationship in our lives is different. They all have different dynamics. Everyone is different. Everyone's created different. We all have different skills and abilities and, you know, different love languages and, like, all these things. But ultimately, like, taking someone that is fundamentally not built to be the you know, like, one building material and forcing them to be another building material, even if it might work, it's not the best that it could be, you know? It, like, sure, it might be good for a little while to be with so-and-so, but ultimately, if your guys' roles aren't what you truly were like meant to be doing, it's going to be really hard to make that relationship last. It's going to be really hard to continue on because you're both going to be living out of alignment with what God's pushing and calling you to do, you know? I mean, I think the thing that society is kind of going towards, sorry the lighting is really bad, but I think the thing that society is really going towards is that one person needs to compromise a ton in a relationship for it to work. And that a lot of times now, that person needs to be the man. And I don't think that that's at all what God created our relationships to be like in a marriage, you know? Like, compromise is something that is needed in relationships, don't get me wrong. But the thing about a relationship, like a marriage, is, you know, at least in Western culture, you decide who you marry. It's not something that's forced upon you, it's something that you choose. So instead of choosing someone that you either have to compromise a bunch for, or they have to compromise everything they want to make you happy, why not find someone that your goals are similarly aligned? Why not, you know, marry the person that your timelines are similar, your life goals are similar, your, you know, expectations from a partner are similar, your love languages are similar, whatever. And that's not saying you can only marry someone that's the exact same person as you, because I think the differences are healthy. But you need to have enough in common that, you know, you can be friends first. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I've seen too many people, and I've been in the boat too many times where they date someone because it's comfortable. It's what's, you know, the normal for them. They don't want to create drama by breaking up with them. They don't want to hurt the other person. They don't want to have to be single again and risk not finding someone. Been in that boat, trust me. But, like, I don't know. It's really important at the same time to recognize that the person, if God created you to get married, if that's the thing that is in the cards for you, you know, it's important to realize that it's something that will happen. If it's something that God has in His will for your life, you know, it's not something that you alone can, you know, make not happen. And, you know, if you, like, going into a marriage, if you question if this is the right thing, is this really the partner that I'm supposed to be with? Are we really that similar? Are our goals really that align, in, like, you know, in line with each other? Like, is this actually the right thing to do? Like, I mean, obviously, cold feet is a thing. But, like, if these are, common recurring thoughts, that's not a good sign, Like, when you are entering a marriage or a relationship of any kind where it's, like, a commitment like that with someone, it shouldn't be a question of whether or not this is the right thing. It should be, like, you should be excited. You should feel so lucky and just, blessed and grateful and just in awe of the fact that, like, this person is committing to you and you get to commit to them and you get to be their life partner. It shouldn't be like, I don't know if this is the right thing. I don't, like, do I actually want the life that they want? Do I actually want to have these things that they're interested in my own life? I don't know. Again, this is a really long-winded thing. I don't really know where it's going, but, like, I don't know. Like, there's more I want to say on this, but this video is already getting really long. I don't really want to make it longer, but I don't know. I just feel like our society is falling so far from what it should be. And it's honestly really scary. I don't know, it's kind of terrifying. And, like, I know that as Christians we're not supposed to be afraid because, like, we already know that, like, we've won the battle, but, like, it's really scary sometimes. That is a big fly. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, to think about some of the things that happen in society, to think about some of these laws that are getting passed, to think about some of the stuff, it's concerning. Like, and I guess the scary thing is, at least, like, from my perspective, if you guys like are new to the channel, like, I definitely live in, like, the US, like, if that wasn't obvious, but, like, I guess the scary thing is that, like, I feel like the US is, like, one of the best places to live, and it's like this. That terrifies me. I don't like it. Like, if I'm being honest here, I'm not a fan. Like, I don't know, man. Yeah. Sorry for another really long-winded one of these, but, like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know. It's just really scary to see some of the things that are happening right now and to be living in them and to, like, it's terrifying. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess it's just scary to me to have a society that demonizes literally, like, love himself, it's kind of scary. Like, I don't understand it. Yeah, sorry. I don't really know where to go with this from now, so if you guys like videos like this, please leave a like. If you don't, that's okay too. I know there are gonna be some not so happy people with this, and I recognize that, and I'm ready for it, but I don't know. Also, I'm really far from the mic. I'm gonna try and it's getting in the frame, oh no. I bop it down, no, well, it's just gonna hang out there, I guess, but, like, oh, maybe, ooh, I have an idea. Bam, we're good. Like, yeah, I don't know, I guess, like, I don't really know. Sorry. There's so much that I don't get. I don't see why things are the way they are, but I also don't know how to fix them. And so I just share my own thoughts and hope for the best, I guess. But yeah. If you guys are new, wow, thank you for listening to all of this randomness. And if you want more videos like this, leave a like so that I know that, and hit the subscribe button so that you see them if you're new. But yeah, I don't know. I guess like it's just kind of discouraging to see a lot of the stuff that happens and then like not be able to do anything to help people with it, you know? And I don't know. We're not really like be able to do anything aside from just like be there for him, I guess, because like you want to be able to do more, you know? But I don't know. I need to get going because yeah, but life is weird. Sometimes it's a good weird, sometimes it's a bad weird, but I don't know. Sorry if this is like depressing. I'm not trying to make it like sad or down or anything. I'm having thoughts. But yeah, I don't know. Trying to be better about like expressing my thoughts when I have them and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I just hope you guys know your worth, I guess. That's what I'm getting at, I suppose. It's just, you know, don't let society tell you that you have to be something you're not. And I know that society is preaching all this inclusivity and, you know, you can do and be anything you want to, but it's only if you agree with them, which is not okay. Yeah, I don't know, but hope you guys enjoyed my like 40 minutes of rambling. Oh Lord, sorry, I like to talk. But like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully it won't be another one of these, but I just have a lot of thoughts, and yeah, so you get to hear them. And sorry, the lighting in this entire video has been terrible. I don't know, I think it's because I wore white today and I shouldn't have done that, but it's cold, and it's cold, sorry. And I didn't feel like having to like put a ton of like, you know, layers on, so I was like, hey, a sweater works. But sorry, I keep rambling. I will see you guys in the next video, and again, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you leave this video knowing nothing else, because like it was all over the place, I hope you guys know how loved and cherished and precious you are to the God that created you. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Drink tea, read your Bible. It's a good time up in here. See you next time. Bye guys.